3:14 in the morning. Your house is quiet, your family is asleep, and someone is standing at your front door. They don't knock, they don't ring the bell, they just stand there, completely still, staring directly into the camera, as if they know you're watching. Tonight, we look at 5 Ring doorbell recordings that have genuinely disturbed the people who captured them. These aren't jump scares, these aren't movie props, these are front porches, just like yours. Welcome back. If you're new here, this channel is dedicated to the footage most people wish they never captured. The recordings that sit in cloud storage for weeks before someone finally gets the courage to review them. Tonight's subject, Ring doorbell cameras. We install them for peace of mind. A little reassurance that the package arrived, that the kids got home safe. But sometimes, the camera shows you something you were never supposed to see. Make sure your door is locked. Let's begin. Story 1, The Watcher. A family in a quiet residential neighborhood in Ohio began noticing something strange in their Ring footage. Not during the day, not in the evening, at exactly 2 a.m., every single night. The first night, they almost missed it. A shadow at the edge of the frame, just barely inside the camera's range, standing near the tree line at the edge of their front yard. Still, the family assumed it was a deer or a neighbor walking late. They scrolled past the notification without a second thought. The second night, the figure was closer. Same time, same stillness. But now, it was standing at the base of their driveway, not moving, not looking around the way a person naturally would, shifting weight, checking a phone, just facing the camera. By night 3, the husband had set an alarm. He watched the live feed from his phone, in bed, under the covers, his wife asleep beside him. At 2:01 a.m., the motion sensor activated. The figure was on the porch, not at the tree line, not at the driveway, on the porch, standing directly in front of the door, close enough that the camera captured the slow, deliberate rise and fall of its chest. It was breathing. The husband called 911. Officers arrived within 6 minutes. The porch was empty, no footprints, no disturbance, but the footage was there, time-stamped, verified. The family moved out 3 weeks later. They never learned who or what was standing at their door. Story 2, The Mask. This next clip circulated briefly on a private neighborhood app in rural Pennsylvania before being taken down by the original poster. People who saw it before it disappeared described it as deeply wrong. Not scary in the way a horror film is scary. Wrong. In the way that something real and unexplainable is wrong. It was a Tuesday in January, 11:47 p.m. A light snow had been falling for hours. The homeowner's Ring camera activated. A figure walked calmly up the driveway. Normal gait, normal clothing. A dark coat, gloves, boots appropriate for the weather. But the face was covered by a plain white mask. Completely smooth. No features. No eye holes. Just a flat white oval where a face should have been. The figure walked directly to the front door, stood there for 47 seconds, then reached out and very slowly turned the door handle. It was locked. The figure stood still for another full minute, then walked back down the driveway, back into the snow, back into the dark. The homeowner, who had been watching from upstairs, said the most disturbing part wasn't the mask. It was that the figure never looked around, never hesitated, never behaved like someone who was lost or drunk or confused. It walked to that door with purpose. It knew exactly where it was going. Story 3, The Children. This one is different because it isn't one figure, and it isn't the middle of the night in the way you'd expect. It was captured at 3:33 in the morning in a neighborhood in suburban Georgia on a Thursday in August. 3 children appeared at the edge of the frame. They looked to be between 8 and 11 years old. 2 boys, 1 girl. All 3 were dressed in clothing that the homeowner later described as old-fashioned, like photographs from the 1970s, collars, neat shoes, the kind of clothes children wore to church. At 3:33 in the morning, they stood at the bottom of the porch steps and they looked up at the camera. All 3, in unison. The homeowner, a woman living alone, said she was awakened by what she thought was her motion sensor alert. She looked at her phone. She watched them for 4 minutes. 4 minutes of 3 children standing in the humid Georgia dark, completely motionless, staring up at her camera. She didn't open the door. She called a neighbor instead. By the time anyone looked outside, the children were gone. No missing persons report matched their description. No neighbors reported anything. The local police reviewed the footage and had no explanation. Some things don't have answers. Stories 4 and 5. The Crawler and the Goodbye. Story 4 needs very little setup. A homeowner in Michigan reviewed their overnight footage after their dog refused to approach the front door for 3 days straight. What they found at 4:17 a.m. was a figure crawling, not walking upright, not crouching, crawling on hands and knees, up the front path, up the porch steps, to the door. It pressed its face against the small glass panel beside the front door and stayed there for 6 minutes before slowly crawling back into the dark. The glass was fogged when they checked in the morning. The final clip is perhaps the most unsettling of all, not because of a stranger, not because of a mask or a crawling figure, because of what the homeowner recognized. A woman in Oregon captured footage of her deceased mother standing on her porch at 1 a.m., 11 months after her mother's funeral. Same coat, same posture, same slight tilt of the head her mother always had when she was waiting. The figure stood on the porch for 2 minutes, then raised one hand and waved goodbye. The woman said she hasn't watched the footage again since the first time, but she hasn't deleted it either. 5 cameras, 5 front porches, 5 moments that no one was ever supposed to see. The Ring doorbell was designed to make you feel safe, to give you eyes where you couldn't be, to let you know what's happening just beyond your door while you sleep. But here's the question that nobody asks when they install one. What if you were safer, not knowing? Check your footage tonight. And ask yourself honestly, is there anything there that you can't explain? If any of this got under your skin, and I have a feeling it did, hit subscribe, new videos every week, turn on notifications, because next time we go inside the house.